Everyone's heard the story of Paul Revere and his 1775 midnight ride, where the patriot silversmith rode 12.5 miles through the night evading British capture to warn Samuel Adams and John Hancock in Lexington of incoming British troops. Revere's story is widely remembered among American students as a tale of Revolutionary War-era heroics and as a demonstration of colonial nationalism. But, as is the case for most historical figures, Revere's place in the limelight overshadows a plethora of equally important and interesting figures, some of which actually did more than Revere himself. Revere's place in history, while well-deserved, is a gross overestimation of his actual accomplishments, and undermines those of some interesting characters. The first of these men goes by the name of William Dawes. Dawes was Paul Revere's partner in crime during the midnight ride. Both men were tasked by Joseph Warren to warn about the impending British danger, and both succeeded in that task. While Revere chose the shorter 12.5-mile route through Charlestown, Dawes took the longer 16.5-mile path down the Boston Neck and through Cambridge. This larger distance accounts for Dawes' late arrival in Lexington, and after Revere had already secured all the fame and glory. Dawes' journey was also significantly quieter. Rather than screaming and crying about the British invasion like Revere, Dawes rode in silence, locked in and determined to reach Lexington as fast as possible. The result of this silence, however, was Dawes' disappearance from the public conscience. Like Dawes, Samuel Prescott was the third and final member of the original midnight ride. After recouping in Cambridge, Revere and Dawes set back out on their journey of hating on the British. On their way to the city of Concord, they stumbled across Dr. Samuel Prescott, literally on a trip back from his girl's crib. Prescott, admiring the patriotism of the two men, tagged along on the adventure, until they were captured by British officers 3 miles down the road. Revere famously ended up being captured by the British, the heroic end to his midnight ride. Dawes actually managed to evade capture, with his tactics described in a quote which my brother will now narrate.
According to the family lore, the quick-witted Dawes, knowing his horse was too tired to outrun the 2 British officers standing him, cleverly staged a woo. He pulled up in front of vacant farming house and shouted as if there were patriots inside. "Hello, boys. I've got 2 of them." Flying the ambush, the 2 radicals galloped away, with Dawes reared so quickly he bucked off his horse, forced to limp in the moonlit night. He receded into obscurity, and Dawes lost his horse, although he managed to scare the soldiers away.
In this heroic act, Prescott managed to sneak away, and the last standing member of the Midnight Ride trio relayed the warning of the British to Concord and beyond. Despite being the shortest of those journeys, only 7 miles, Prescott's efforts were equally important in preparing the colonies for British invasion. While all 3 men were key pieces in the fight against the evil no-good British, only one of the men would ever end up rising into the public conscious. As is well understood at this point, Revere's name rose to fame because of the poem written with his conveniently easy-to-rhyme name. But the stories of all 3 men exemplify the sense of patriotism in the American colonies. But the final Midnight Rider outdid all 3 of the original trio. The night of April 26, 1777, 16-year-old Sybil Ludington set off to warn the dispersed militia of Dansbury of a wounded messenger claiming the British were invading. Ludington rode 40 miles around the Hudson Highlands of Connecticut, over double the distance of any of the 3 original Midnight Riders, rallying 400 militiamen to fight the British, with accounts noting pouring rain and a fight with a thief along the way. Did Sybil Ludington save the city of Dansbury? No. But the story of Sybil Ludington represents the ability of any person to act for a cause which they believe in, and is probably more badass than anything the rest of us have ever done. The troops also did manage to impede British advance, leading to the April 27th Battle of Ridgefield, an American victory and an important battle for the Patriot movement. The stories of the Midnight Riders are all important to an understanding of the American Revolution. They demonstrate that any colonist, from silversmiths to doctors to high schoolers, could invoke the patriot spirit and engage in the movement in a meaningful and impactful way. These heroes represent a greater theme in American history of fighting for one's ideals, whether in movements of war or peace. Without the action of these civilians and others like them, the revolution could have ended in British victory, and instead of bacon and hot dogs, we'd be eating glorified dog food. This idea can further extend to conflicts in other areas of American history. How have the actions of American patriots lost to time contributed to victories in other movements and conflicts, and what would the result be without them? It may be taken away that in order to achieve victory, every person's action matters, even your own. You just need to hope that your name is easy to rhyme with.